Hi everyone, welcome to Christmas in July, our final week, and this week we were to do Rustic, which I'm sure you've probably seen some other videos other people have done. So I did several things and I'll just explain what I used as I go. So my first idea was to do an altered CD, but then the thing was, what was I going to do? So I started digging through my papers, and what I ended up using, which I've had in my stash for quite a while. I have the 12 by 12 as well, and the stickers and everything, but this graphic 45. Now at first I thought, maybe that's not rustic, but this image right here is one of the sheets in the paper. It's this, and I was thinking cabin and things like that, so I thought this looked rustic. So I used this area for the front of my CD, and then I flipped it over and used this side, the second sheet, for the back. And so that is what I used for my CD. And then what I did, I didn't really alter too much on it, other than I added a little deer and these little trees. Now this is cut twice out of Early Espresso cardstock by Stampin' Up. And this is from, it's called the Card Builder Front, which I'm not going to be able to find. Anyway, it's called the Card Front Builder, and I believe it's still in the clearance rack at Stampin' Up. The trees are also out of that. These two are hooked together, and this is an individual one. And I cut them out in Mossy Meadow, but then what I did is I took the Champagne Shimmer Frost. I didn't want to use the white because this is not really white in the background, so I used the Champagne with my Wink of Stella. You know, you've seen me do that technique before. And then I have some retired twine in Cherry Cobbler and Mossy Meadow. So what I did is I went around the edge with the Cherry Cobbler first to fill in between the front and back. And then around the front, I just went around again with Mossy Meadow, and I had a little difficulty with twine and hot glue. So the top layer, well, actually I was trying to twist the twine and then put it down with hot glue, and that was just a disaster. So I pulled it all off and started over, and I actually just wet glued this in with a combination of Aleene's and Turbo Tacky Glue, and every now and then I just put a little tack down with the hot glue to make sure it stayed in place. Then these Season's Greetings, that's out of one sec, that, oops, that's not it. Oh goodness, here it is. Yep, here it is. And I found the Card Front Builder as well. So it was these Sizzix Thinlits, and it's called Season's Greetings. So I cut it out in Mossy Meadow and Cherry Cobbler. And then on this one, I put the Mossy Meadow behind the Cherry Cobbler, and on this one, I reversed it. So you get a little bit of shadowing, but I thought the colors went well, and I wanted to be able to see through the back, so I didn't want to put like a banner or anything like that on. And then I just punched a hole. I have a jewelry making hole maker thing, and just a small hole and one piece of the red twine. And then the back I didn't do anything on yet. So that is the wall hanging. Then, and here's what the Card Front Builders look like. Sorry, I found them together. And the deer is in here too. And forgive my fingers, one of the cards I did next, I got green ink all over me. Yeah, that's me. Okay, so here's, see, I even have a little extra deer. So I used the trees and, where'd he go? Oh, and here, the little deer here. Right there. Okay. So I think that's still in clearance. Check it out. It's got some stars and moon and everything too. And if you're interested in anything like that, please, purchase it on Justine Stone's party that she's having through me. Information will be down below the list of participants in this collab, hosted by DawnH Creates, which I forgot to mention, by the way. So then I had some extra paper, and I thought, well, maybe I'll do a card or two. So this was from the sheet that I had cut the back out. I used the other side of the sheet So the bird and the well, part of this house was left. It kind of cut into it. So what I did is I took a piece of, this is actually garden green, not mossy meadow. See, it's a little bit different color. And I used the wood, pine wood planks 3D embossing folder by Stampin' Up on the green. And because this piece I had to cut it thin because of how the it cut in over here. So I embossed that like a wood grain, because to me rustic is cabins and wood and things like that. Just put this down as it was. This is a piece of the burlap ribbon by Stampin' Up. Just, I needed some texture or something over here to break up all the green. And then down here I punched a little 1-inch circle out of the back of the same paper, you know, this pattern here. And then I stamped Peace and Joy. Now that came out of this penny black stamp set called Nature's Friends, and I don't, it's a 2014, so I probably got it on clearance or something somewhere online because it's not marked. So Peace and Joy, and I just used my triple banner punch, and then these are retired from a, not retired, they're from a paper pumpkin kit. They're sort of the yellow ones. I had yellowish and green, or almost like a champagne color actually, and I thought they went well with it. And of course this and this are up on dimensionals. And on the inside I used an Altenew sentiment, and that is from the Holiday Wishes, and it says, from home to home and heart to heart, from one place to another, the warmth and joy of Christmas brings us closer to each other. And somebody Matthews, I can't read the first word of that, Emily Matthews. And I thought it brought the joy in from here and the warmth of the cabin. And anyway, that was my first two. And then I wanted to make another card, because as I was doing this card, I'm like, you dummy, you had a different idea in your mind a couple days ago. So, and what that idea was to use, if I can find it, which I just had. It's a stamp set called, oh here, right here, Rustic Retreat by Stampin' Up. You know, Rustic Retreat, and this is what it looks like. It's a new one in the current annual catalog. It's got a cabin, it's got a buck, it's got a bear, it's got this wood plank thinking of you, but I did use this and sending warm Christmas wishes, because this is a Christmas collab. And then I also did use this little pine bough here, and I stamped it and colored it and cut it out. And then I also, from the In the Woods framelit, coordinating framelits, I used these two branchy type things, and the three of these, although I lost one of my pine boughs and I didn't feel like stamping it again, so I only have two. Anyway, that's what I used. And oh, and one other thing I used, and that was the tin tile 3D embossing folder. That was part of, when was that introduced? I think last holiday catalog, and it carried over. So here's what I did. I'm going to turn the light down so you don't get so much glare. Sorry. So I used Early Espresso, which is a real dark brown cardstock. I stamped the cabin image and colored it in, and I used a variety of my Stampin' blends. Dark and light smoky slate, soft suede, dark and light crumb cake. I actually used, because I don't have it, crushed curry in the blend, in the right, Stampin' Right, for the windows, for the light shining through down here. These are light and dark shaded spruce. This is, I forget, I think it's a combination of old olive and shaded spruce on top of each other to get the grass, because I don't think I had garden green. I can't remember. And then I did Pool Party with a little Wink of Stella on the sky. These are the stitched ovals, and I'm sorry, stitch shaped dies, which are currently not available, I'm told. So I'm not sure when they'll be back in. But we have the oval, and this circle is out of that as well. This is bumped up, it's like framed, so the white is behind the brown. And then I, because a little bit of the white picture edge showed through, I went around and edged that with the Early Espresso Stampin' Right, just so it didn't, the white didn't show around the edges. These are those brown sprigs. This is where I stamped the evergreen boughs, and then I had two that I could find. I don't know where the other one went. I didn't like them over here, and that's why I ended up doing this sort of a wreath look here. But something needed to go up here, so I just stuck two of them there that I could find. And then this is ribbon from the Magnolia Lane ribbon combo pack, and it's this it's like a linen ribbon with a white edge on it. The burlap seemed a little the wrong color, and I just wasn't feeling it, so I just wanted a little something else down here. So that's that. And on the inside, all I did was stamp that this from Rustic Retreat and left it blank. So those are my projects for this week. I hope you enjoyed them. They were fun to make, and I had a lot more ideas once I started going, but it always happens to me, I don't have time to keep going. So yeah, I had the Graphic 45 for, you know, probably since 2017, and I hadn't even opened it. The sticky, except to show you guys on a video probably, but the sticky things were still sealed, especially on the 12 by 12, and I think it still is. I only use the 8 by 8. So yeah, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed, and please go visit all the other members of the collab. Like I said, this is our last week, and I was thinking of doing a giveaway for this, but I don't think I'm going to, because I already have other giveaways going for my 2000K subby and their hidden giveaways. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Hugs, love, and peace.